Welcome to the Stateless Codecast. This is episode number 104 in our series, Create a RubyGem, Nerd Dice. And we are here for our 2025 kind of annual maintenance of the gem. We are dealing with, we need to replace the certificate. It expired last week. It's been almost 2 weeks now since that it's been expired. If you rely on high security for the gem, I am sorry, but it will be taken care of hopefully by the end of this video. Last year we wound up splitting into 2 videos. It'll depend kind of on how things go with RuboCop. RuboCop will sometimes give you a whole bunch of ex post facto violations, which may take a while to hunt out and address. Also, this will involve installing Ruby 3.4, so it's possible that the bundle install command on 3.4 won't work at all until we go in and update the dependencies, which is something I typically do every year anyway. I've got them all open here and take a look at what the plan is for this release. So GitHub Actions checkout should be bumped to version 4. It's currently at version 2. If you go into the actions here for the builds, you can see that there are deprecation warnings about using checkout version 2. So we're going to try to get that up to version 4. We'll add Ruby 3.4 to GitHub Actions and obviously also run the code and tests locally with it. We'll review and update dependencies, and we will replace the gem certificate, which has expired. We'll release version 0.5.2 of the gem unless there is something that is big enough a change to warrant a release of a 0.6.0, but I anticipate it will just be fine with 0.5.2. Update the changelog, generate checksums, commit back to master, and then we'll separate out the changes of version 0.5.2 onto their own branch. So we'll start out here. We have currently Ruby 3.4.2 installed in our system. We have not run this gem's tests or suite or anything like that with version 3.4, which released back on Christmas of 2024. So we'll see how that goes. I'll try a bundle install. And that failed. And it looks like Thor might be the culprit, and that's a kind of a dependency of a dependency there. I don't have a direct development or runtime dependency on Thor, but we'll hit clear here. We're on master, so we'll create a branch here. Call this 2025 master, and then we'll also check out a branch off of version 0.5 stable, cherry pick the relevant commits into that, and then release the gem off of the version 0.5 stable branch. So we're now on master here. The next thing, obviously, with the current bundle, Ruby 3.4 isn't working at all. So I'm going to take a look at the dependencies here. So we have 2 in the Gemfile, rake and rspec, and then we've got 1 actual runtime dependency, which is SecureRandom, and then a bunch of development dependencies, coveralls, reborn, simplecov, lcov, and then the relevant suite of RuboCop gems. So I've got these open on RubyGems. So this is the Nerd Dice one. You can see the expired certificate there. SecureRandom has been bumped. Coveralls Reborn has not. All the RuboCops have had releases on them. SimpleCov hasn't had one since 2020. Yeesh. And RSpec, I think I'm running 3.12 in the gem file. We'll bump that to 3.13, and we'll ensure that rake is up to 13.2. So I'll stop and make those changes and be back in a moment. All right, so I've made my changes. You can see the highlights there in blue. I've also got the gem file updates for rake and RSpec. So now I'm going to see if I can run a bundle update here. Uh-oh. We are still not working here. Let's see where Thor winds up in our Gemfile.lock. Coveralls Reborn, which has not had a release. Let me figure out what I'm going to do here. So after taking a look, I don't think the problem is with Coveralls Reborn. If you go and take a look at their GitHub page there, it indicates that they have it working with 3.4. So I think the issue is that I've got an outdated version of Bundler here in the gem file. So I'm going to try, I'll hit clear here, bundle update -- bundler. Now I think we're in good shape. So Ruby still here, and get rid of that error message here. Clear again, see if RSpec works. That did not. Ooh, we do have some errors here. All right, so I'm back. I think I've got at least 3 out of these 6 taken care of. So you can see it's maybe you can't see, it's hard. So the regular expression is looking for a backtick here, and now in Ruby 3.4, undefined method does not have the backtick here. That's a single quote. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, you can see here I've got the method in the regular expression here, and I've got it plugged into Rubular with the actual change here. So because this still needs to pass with versions of Ruby earlier than 3.4, I'm going to throw in a bracket here. So it's a bracket with a single quote or a backtick, and you can see now that matches. So we'll see if that at least gets 3 out of our 6 taken care of here. Rerun the specs. And we're down to 3 failures. I'll be back with those. All right, it turns out it's backticks all the way down. So the issue here was another, I'll hit undo for a second here, literal backtick in the regular expression. So we'll turn that back. And then the other ones here, I have to actually change the production code, not just the spec here, because the catch of that no method error in harvest totals, it's looking for that backtick specifically in the regular expression. So I need to make the changes there as well. And I expect once I do that, we'll be back to passing, and we are. So we've got that part taken care of. Now let's deal with the fuzz. So I'm going to run RuboCop. Oh, this is, I think I can just run RuboCop-A here. Now I've got no offenses detected, but I do have some, I'll take a look at this deprecation warning. All right, so this might just be a matter of specifying plugins instead of require here. All right, so we are good to go there. Let's take a look at the checklist that we're dealing with. So we've got, we do need to update the GitHub Action. And we'll just do Control H here. Replace all. So that's done. GitHub Action is done. Ruby 3.42, all of the GitHub Actions. See if there's any other places where I think that's it there. Review dependencies, possibly update bundle, run RuboCop. That's been done for all of them. Replace the gem certificate needs to be done. Release 0.5.2. All right, so I think we're ready to commit and push to our branch here. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'll make the certificate its own commit. So we will git status. We'll run git diff. All right, everything. That I expected to see is here in the diff. So we'll do a git add dot git commit. I have auto signing on now, so I don't need to do the -S here. Write my message. All right, I've got my commit message here. I will save it, close our saved files here, and we are going to, I'll push this so we can get the GitHub Actions run on it and hope that it works fine with checkout version 4 and all the other, like version 3.3 versus down to 3.0. I could locally do that by using me's use 3.3 and then running all the stuff and 2 and 1 and all the stuff. But GitHub Actions works for free for me. I'm an open source project, so I'm just going to let them do that work. And if the job fails, I'll do a little bit of rework here. So git push. Need to put origin. See how that goes while we're doing that. So remaining, we have replaced the gem cert release version 0.5.2, update the changelog, and generate the checksums. So we'll start with the gem certificate, and I had a back in 2023 wrote out the process for this. So we're going to move the old cert into an archive directory. So I'm going to just open a different terminal here. And we're going to go to old gem certs. We will this is the 2024-02 cert here. Go back and then to old gem certs 2024-02. This is a new computer, so I might not need to untrust the old certificate, but we'll just make sure here. All right, we'll hit clear. So now we need to do a gem cert build. Well, I think I'll run that from the, project directory. We'll find out. Okay, we'll run clear here. Okay, we will set a passphrase. All right, so a couple of things here. I messed up the passphrase the first time, and then I made the mistake of doing this in the project directory. So if we do git status, you can see these are both in the project directory, which is not where there should be. So we're going to move those to my SSH directory. Now they should be there in the SSH directory. You can see that they're there. And now we're going to copy from the gems. This is from the gems root directory. So we'll hit clear here. So we've got the new cert. This is also from the root directory of the gem. That succeeded. All right, this is going to be a version 0.6.0 when I try to do this, but let's try it. We'll do a gem build here. So that is currently in the main directory there. We'll do a gem install. It'll be 0.6.0 here. And that worked. Now we want to uninstall that version of the gem. All right, so we've got that taken care of. So replace the gem cert. Now we're going to release version 0.5.2. Let's see how our action failed. 3.0 failed on us. Using bundler 2.6.5. Okay, bundler requires version 3.1.0 or later. That will be a problem. So I think the solution to this is to remove my Gemfile.lock from Git. So what we're going to do is we're going to clear here. I want to keep the file locally, so we're going to do a git rm-cached Gemfile.lock. Git status. Let's remove that temporary version of the gem. We want to add Gemfile.lock to our git ignore. All right. So we'll do a git add, git ignore, do a git commit amend. We'll do that. And we'll try pushing again. So the only thing we've got left is that cert. We'll see whether that resolves our GitHub Action issue. So we've got another failure. If we look at the 3.0 issue here, SecureRandom 0.4 requires Ruby 3.1 or higher. So we need to walk that gem update back, and that also means that this is probably nearing the end of what we're going to do with the 0.5 branch. So we'll get through this and release 0.5.2, and then I'll come back in another video, and I think we're going to release 0.6.0 and deprecate, or version 0.6.0 is going to drop Ruby 3.0, and then the 0.5 branch will kind of leave in maintenance mode for at least a year, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to go back to the Gemspec. We're going to walk this back. I'm going to bundle, update. All right, specs still pass. We'll add the Gemspec back again. commit, don't need amend. All right, so we've got that. We will do another force push to that branch. All right, now we're back in business with our GitHub Action passing. We have one more thing to do. We need to add our cert. Write my message for this one. All right, I've got my commit message for the cert here. Push to that branch, clear things up. So now we're going to get branch. We're going to switch to then we're going to get switch -c maint 25.0.0.52. All right. We'll cherry pick this first one. We have so get rm cached. Get pick continue. And then we'll do another git log of that main branch to get another cherry pick. Git push origin. There. Let's make sure that, just to be sure, that the auto sign works on those cherry picks. It does. So see how our actions are doing. So we're going to create a pull request. This one will go into 0.5 stable. Base is version 0.5 stable. All right, I've got my pull request ready to go here into the version 0.5.x stable branch. That will require a GitHub action to complete as well. While we're doing that, we will get status. We'll merge this locally. Git switch merge, fast forward only. Clear. And then take a look at what we've got here. Our version should be 0.5.2, and it is. Do a bundle install here. And then I think it's gem build. Yes. Okay. All right, so we built 0.5.2. That should move into the package directory. Go into package directory. Now we're going to check back in on our GitHub Action here. That worked, so we will clear here. Working directory is clean. That push should automatically resolve the pull request. And it did. Now we want to go to package. We're already in package. So gem release nerd dice 0.5.2. I need to // it, I think. Try again. // Still not. Oh, gem push. All right, I'll enter my credentials and my two-factor authentication. All right, so our gem has successfully been registered on RubyGems.org. That two-factor code is already expired, so it's of no use to you. I don't have to hide it or blur it or anything. Go to RubyGems, nerd dice. We can see now 0.5.2 is here. It has been released, and it has a signature validity period. So now this is the commit of the build. So we want to tag that commit. Git tag -a v 0.5.2. Let me make sure that that's how I've done them in the past. Hold on. Yes, v0.5.2. So git tag -a v 0.5.2 and git push tags. We'll make sure that everything succeeded with our build. All right, that's the commit for the tag, the build for the tag there. So now we can go into Nerd Dice here, click on releases, tags. We now have a 0.5.2 tag. Why is my tag not verified? Create a release off of it. Just see how I did this in the past. All right, so title will be 2, and then this will be essentially what I'm going to add to my changelog after this, so it'll come in handy. I'll add the actual modifications here. All right, so we've got our added, changed, and fixed here. You can see how it looks in the preview. Hitting Control-C to copy it so that I can add it to the changelog after this. So I think we can publish this release and set it as the latest. Back to our issue here. We still need to update the changelog and generate our checksums. So we'll hop into our changelog. We'll get back to our git branch, git switch, and master. All right, that's where we want to be. We've got our changelog here. So we've got 0.5.2. We'll call it 9, even though it's still 8 my time. It shows as 9 on RubyGems, which uses UTC. We'll move this, I guess, down to we'll leave it at changed here. Let's see here. And the changelog, we're just word wrapping like this. So I think that gives us what we need. And then I think we can just bin generate checksums. Zero 0.5.2. Looks like that gives us what we want. Checksum. That's the 256. 54AB, and that matches what is in RubyGems. So we'll do a git add dot here, git commit. Write my message. All right, I've got my commit message here. Close, saved. Git push. We will double check our bullet points here. Done, 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 done. Other branch, done, done. And we will compare and pull request that into master. I'll fill out the pull request. All right, I've got my pull request. Assign it to myself. Create it. Git switch. We'll run a clear here. Git switch master. Merge. Alright, so we can get rid of git branch D. Okay, so it just warned me. Git push origin colon name of branch to delete it from the remote. Let's ensure that our action into master has completed before we merge it. Meanwhile, we'll delete our local branch here. Okay. We are green. We'll push. We'll delete the old branch. And I think we are completed. 100 commits, yay. So Yeah, everything's on master. We have released 0.5.2. We will go in, so upcoming, I do want to release a version 0.6 that increases the SecureRandom version there, and then we'll deprecate version 0.5.x like we had previously done with versions 0.1 through 0.4, and then I typically give at least a year until I end of life something, and then we'll retire it then. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe, like, comment. Engagement helps us. It helps you be notified when we release new videos. Thanks for watching.
Want to create your own RubyGem but don't know where to start? Code along with me on the end-to-end journey of the Nerd Dice project. We'll configure and publish the gem, use GitHub Actions to trigger builds and tests, and create magic methods with Ruby metaprogramming that can roll any number of dice, all while using a test-driven approach. Go to statelesscode.com/nerddicegem to level up.
Thanks for watching this Stateless Codecast. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and spread the word. You can follow us on social media @StatelessCode. Until next time, keep coding and don't aggress against peaceful people or vote for others to do so on your behalf. All right, so our gem has success. What have I done?
Stateless code.
Nerd dice.